So we talked about gospel fluency of what is the gospel. Now let's talk about gospel urgency. It's the why we share the gospel. It's the cause. I mean, we live for the greatest cause the world has ever seen. That is to seek and save the lost. And it's the why of the Christian life. And I think as firefighters, they understand urgency. When somebody is in trouble, is in need, there's urgency to put on those suits, to get in those trucks, and to get out there and help. And in the same way, we should have urgency in sharing the gospel with people. I want to talk about 3 fuels real fast that help give us gospel urgency. One is the command, right? The command is when Jesus said in Matthew 28, he says to go into all the world and make disciples. He says in Luke 24 to preach to all nations. He says in John 20:21, as the Father has sent me, I'm sending you. And in Acts 1:8, he says, you will be my witnesses. And so I want us to think about the Great Commission, the command that God has given us. And a lot of people think it's just a good suggestion, or even it's sad, it's almost more of a great omission, because about 2% of Christians share their faith on a regular basis. And that's not okay. And just as a firefighter job is to fight fires, right? Imagine firefighters that they just love their captain, right? They esteem their captain. They think he's just great. They sing songs about their captain. They even have studies about their captain in meetings. But imagine when the captain said, get on your fire gear, get in the truck, let's go. There's a blazing fire, let's go. Imagine instead of doing what the captain says, those firefighters said, did you hear the captain's voice? Oh, glory to the captain. He's just so great. Listen, if they love their captain, they'll do what he says. And so we've been commanded to share. The second one is this, that we should have compassion on the lost, because there's a hell that they're going to, and in a sense, a hell they're going through. Let's talk about the first one. In Jude 1:23, it says to snatch others from the fire and save them. I think about firefighters and what they're doing. Man, what a picture of that. But spiritually, there's something even more on the line when it comes to hell that people go to when they're separated from God. They need the gospel. There's a hell that people go to, and in a sense, a hell they go through. In Mark 9:36, Jesus looked upon people with compassion because they were harassed and helpless, like sheep without a shepherd. Man, that is a picture of our generation today with depression and suicide at the highest rate it's ever been, or brokenness all around. They need Jesus now. Let that fuel you with gospel urgency. Here's the third point, and that is investment. All right, we want to invest. Jesus says to store up for yourself treasures in heaven, not on the earth. And so when you think about living this life, the average person will be forgotten in about 3 generations from now, right? What do you really know about your great-great-grandpa, honestly? And so instead of living for our own self in this life, let's live for eternity. When we share the gospel, it sends a ripple into eternity. There's an investment there. So whatever urgency that you need to fill up on regularly, let's have gospel urgency to share the good news.